the locker room. Tunch and Wolf, brought to you by Chrysler Jeep Dodge. You know, Wolf, I feel like we should be listening to the Olympic anthem right now. Because we
we should be standing.
Yeah, because we have a champion with us, Mike Nackoul, school age, 209-pound Olympic lifting champion, and his coach, Regis Becker. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And I noticed the gold medal, because that's what we're focused on.
That is primo, isn't it? Put that baby out there. That's the real deal.
Yeah.
That says national champion.
Well, congratulations, buddy. What was it like? Springfield, Missouri. And were you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah?
You know.
Well, shall we set the stage here, Garcon?
Well,
okay,
go ahead.
Let's talk about the fact we have a teenage, and now it's referred to as school-age champion, but Olympic lifting.
What I said.
Olympic
That's what I said.
weightlifting.
I said that
you
too.
did not
I
say
did
that.
say.
He didn't say.
I said Olympic lifting. What do you want to bet? Go to the tape.
We'll go to the tape.
I said Olympic lifting.
Tell him, Reed, he's full of baloney.
Tell
staying out of this.
Reed, go ahead, Reed. Come on. You know us both a long time. Feel free to throw in.
You didn't
there.
tell me. What's Olympic lifting?
No, that's not what you said, though. You just said you didn't say Olympic lifting.
I'm following up here.
I'm telling you.
I'm discussing
Everybody knows
things.
what Olympic lifting is.
I can only work with what I got here.
Then you call me Garza. What's up with that?
Well, that's a term of non-endearment.
Springfield, Missouri.
Yes.
The national championships, school-age national championships.
Olympic lifting.
Olympic lifting. Thanks. What was that like for? First, how do you get to the national championships? What do you got to go through?
Well, first you just got to qualify in local meet. Every weight class there's a different total. You have to meet that total, then you're eligible to go to the national championships. And I qualified at a meet that was at Craig's gym, MASC, in January.
That would be in Bridgeville.
Right.
Number is
shameless plug 257-6838. Call and ask.
It was 9868.
9868.
You can't even get that right.
I was close.
Yeah, you're close.
I knew you'd correct me.
All right, so you set a qualifying total, and now let's talk about the two lifts. You got two lifts. There's the snatch and there's the clean and jerk.
Right.
They're both very, very ballistic lifts. There's an awful lot of power and a lot of technique to it. It's a little bit different than powerlifting, is it not, Reach?
Right. It's much more explosive, as you said. Powerlifting is more static strength, and it's a terrific demonstration of overall brute strength.
Right.
This is more athletic, and flexibility is involved, although strength and power are a big part of it.
Okay. Now, how long did you have to prep for that meet down at Mask? And how long did you cycle up to this thing?
Well, football ended in about November. And from the next week after that, I started training for the meet in January. And then I trained until March. And then I had baseball season up until the beginning of May. Then after that, I started training for the national championships.
So Mike, plays guard and linebacker for Cannon-Mack High School, for Cannon-McMillan, and you also play baseball. When do you have time to lift Olympic lifts?
Well, I think it hurts my training a little bit because some kids, I'm starting to get to the age where they just train all year round.
Right.
But it's not so bad. A couple weeks. Training blocks, kind of.
Now, does it mess up your swing, huh? You're putting that swing out there.
See, it sure messed up yours.
I had no swing, Chalucha.
That's for sure. You'll get no
Oh, I'm
argument
sorry. I didn't know I was sitting next to Mickey Mantle
I
here.
was just saying, you're the one that said
man.
You walked right into
I
that,
happen
buddy.
to be the worst catcher that ever played in the summer minor leagues. I mean, it was the entire summer. Oh, shush you. Now, by the way, I know this young man very well. His parents.
Fun.
Yeah, I was so bad, played the summer leagues, I threw one kid out the entire summer, and I got him because he was wearing flip-flops.
Right off the beach. Now, so Mike, when did you get into Olympic lifting?
Well, it all started with my brother. He was a two-time national medalist a couple years ago, and I just followed him for a while. I started going to Craig's gym when I was about 9 years old.
Real pain in that,
yeah,
he was.
And he didn't screw you up?
Not much.
Okay,
not much.
Good.
And
your mom and dad still let you go there?
Shockingly.
I'll have to talk to him.
I think I'm going to leave. I got to leave here. I'm just kidding. This is a double team. Reach, a little help here.
Yeah,
you see this young man? Did you draw him into the
No, it's great that he started at that age because he didn't have any bad habits to break, and he didn't get into what we call the meathead lifting, which is brute strength. I'm going to throw the barbell around. Mike learned early it's speed and technique are just as important as power and strength, and he saw Dave go through the ranks and medal with the nationals, so he was a natural. And he's being awfully modest. It's not easy to play two varsity sports and then come back and win a national championship.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are training year-round, and a lot of them train twice a day sometimes. Mike just easily came in with 6 weeks training and won the national championship. Well, easier for me to say it than you to do it. But
Explain the way an Olympic lift works. You get how many lifts do you get, and how do you decide what weights you're going to attempt?
Well, it all starts as 2 lifts. There's a snatch and the clean and jerk.
Right.
And the snatch is just you take it from the ground over your head. And the clean and jerk, you take it from the ground to your shoulders. Then you have to jerk it over your head. And you take your best lift from each of those, and you add them together and get your total.
But I mean, how many shots? I mean, do you add weight?
3 attempts.
Yeah, you get 3 attempts, and so you have to figure out. I mean, how do you how's your strategy? Okay, I'm gonna.
Strategery is something that Reed obviously knows.
That's right.
He's
so
a strategist.
how do you decide what your opening lift's going to be, and how do you know when you go for it? How does that work?
Well, I'm not the strategy guy. He is.
All right, Reach.
Well, we know what Mike's capabilities. We know in the gym what he's done, what his best lifts are, and then we look at what the competitors are doing.
Right.
So at this meet, Mike opened up very comfortably with about 209 pounds, which is what he weighs. He very easily snatched that. Then he went to 220, made another successful lift, and then we waited to see what the other guys were going to take.
So you got to kind of wait. Now, how long in between attempts could you have?
It was maybe 2 or 3 minutes. The next guy we saw took 105, and we didn't think he was good for it.
105 kilos.
Yeah, 105 kilos, 231 pounds.
You got to watch. They speak the European metric system.
Remember, and they taught it to us when we were in grade school because they said eventually we were going to go to the metric system.
Yeah.
Where's the metric system
We're still
now?
waiting on it.
Only Olympic lifters.
Only weightlifting. So we didn't think the guy was good for 231. So Mike hedged his bets a little and took 228 and made it. And then the guy missed the 231, which was put Mike in the driver's seat.
So now you go through the first 3 attempts. You're feeling pretty comfortable, right? Now, how much juice does that suck out of you? I mean, the snatch, when you go bang overhead, you go to that full squat, there's an awful lot of stabilizing you got to do at the bottom of that thing. Your arms are wide overhead. You got the bar. Have you ever had one tomahawk you on the back of the head?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
I was talking about a bald spot you had in your hair. I thought that's my
Maybe that's what happened. But
well, as far as I know.
that sucks a lot of energy, does it not, though, when you're down there?
Oh, yeah. First, the snatch, it takes a lot of energy out of you, but I guess you get the adrenaline going for the clean. Doesn't really bother you that much.
Okay.
So what's your
first competitor?
The most you've ever clean and jerked?
Well, in training one time, I cleaned 140 kilos, which is 308 pounds, but in the competition, I only had to do 135 to win, so that's what I did.
Now, where do you go? Where does the school age champion go to? What's next? Olympics?
I'm not sure. Not yet.
I mean, how do you? No, Reese, I'll ask you because he's a modest guy. Where does he go from here?
Well, he's now a top level school age guy. The next, he's got 1 more year in this class.
Right.
He can add 10 or 12 pounds and stay in the same weight class because everyone he beat this year was a year older than him. So he'll have 1 more year to compete in school age, and then you go to what they call juniors, 18 to 20, where he'll be competing at a higher level. And some juniors actually can make it on the Olympic level teams. That's a very, very competitive age. You're starting to peak as an athlete. So he'll step it up another year. He'll move another 2 years. He'll move to the juniors, and then you go to the open division, which is everybody. All bets are off. Everyone who wants to enter enters the open, and then it gets very, very competitive for the big teams.
Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more Olympic.
We got to find out how when he won it, man.
That's right. We want to talk about the win, and then we want to talk about some more stuff because Regis also competes, right?
We'll talk about.
You used to compete.
Yeah, we'll talk about the clean and jerk. I'm clean. He's the jerk. Yeah. There you go.
And we will take a break, and we'll be back right here in the locker room with more dumbbells.
Oh, ow, that was.